Do we need to sign in?
No, sign in, and we're doing the wrap. The giveaway is different.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, people on the internet. I'm starting in 2 minutes.
I know. I didn't even get the You're all
That's adorable.
Hey, how are you?
Live in 1 minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like it.
Good. How are you?
Ooh, I want this.
All right. Riley, transition. Just go.
I don't know because my husband is a master.
All the time. Never.
Okay, I feel really fancy with a microphone in this big group of people, but welcome tonight to our September training called Switch It Up in September. I'm Jen Mango, and I'm going to have Heather and Molden Master Heather Rice open us up in prayer.
If you guys will just bow your heads. Dear Jesus, thank you for this night. Thank you for all the people that you have brought here. We ask, Lord, that you open our hearts and our minds to hear and receive what it is that you have for us to learn tonight. I ask that all of the people that are still on their way here, Lord, that you provide them safety on the roads because it's super crazy out there. And we just ask your blessing, Lord. We know that we have products that can help change people's lives, Lord. A lot of us are testimonies of that. And we thank you for the opportunity to be able to share that with others. Thank you for all those who have come tonight. I ask that we have a good evening. This is going to be a great meeting. We ask that you look over us and watch over us. Thank you for everything that you have provided for us, Lord. And we ask this all in your heavenly name. Amen. May I introduce Rainey Spalding, Diamond Ambassador.
This is very fancy to speak on a microphone, so thank you, the technically savvy Mangoes, for that. Everyone can actually hear us for once, so that's a nice thing. Can you not hear us? Oh, okay, very good. Y'all, I love this time of the month that we get together, that we're able to see one another and come together and learn more about Plexus and how we can either become a part of the business, grow our business, get better, get smarter, and just overall learn more. Because the more you know, yeah, absolutely. So what I want to share with you guys tonight, and this is the Mango Show, and the first thing that, yep, there's a Mango. That Mango, he's in charge, right? No, but honestly, if you want to grow your business, I'm going to tell you what you need to do, and that is duplicate the Mangoes. I'm so impressed with them. I love the fact that you guys just took charge of this month's meeting and that I can be here to help support you guys. I genuinely love you guys. I think you are amazing, and I cannot wait to see what we get to learn from y'all tonight. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the rock star, Jen Mango. Emerald Ambassador.
Really, we're just bossy, or I should say, and for those of you that have been to our house and trainings before or seen us online, there is a taskmaster in our house, Mr. Mango, who likes to keep things on time and under control. So we're going to stick to an agenda.
We're already late. Let's get it going. Just kidding. Welcome, everyone. We appreciate you being here. So you see behind us this pound all in. In August, Rainey came up with, hey, we're going to be all in. And so we followed that theme. And to kick things off tonight, our son over here, Riley, who's 13, did a nice little video to introduce our theme for training tonight. You guys ready? Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's not. Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Okay. All right. Very good job. All right. So that's the theme. Are you all in? And we know that we are. So we've got a great evening for tonight. We've got some great special speakers, some very good information to share. And as you can see up here, we're going to have a dual panel to answer some of the questions that you already submitted. So Riley, can you hit the next slide for me, Bubba? Okay. So let's start this off. Honey, can you read? Because I'm blind.
I can read. I'm going to read
There you
here. The testimonies that you'll hear tonight are strictly testimonies of fellow ambassadors. Therefore, this is not a sponsored event by Plexus Worldwide. All information provided, particularly any information related to specific medical conditions, healthcare, preventative care, and healthy lifestyles, is not intended as a substitute for the advice provided by a physician. The statements regarding any products included this evening have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So we've covered that.
All right, so the agenda.
The agenda, we're gonna get started with we've already done some introductions, but
Absolutely.
I'm gonna share a little bit about product and a little bit about our story quickly for those of you that don't know Phil and I. Like I was introduced, I am an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. My Plexiversary was July 17th, so I joined Plexus in July 16th. My sponsor, the wonderful Crede. I watched her online for about 8 weeks. We were fellow friends through another Facebook group of swapping stuff.
The bad
kind of stuff. Phil hated that because I was either buying or selling stuff on all the time. Watched her lose weight and get healthy and said, you know what, I want to try it. My husband was a huge skeptic. Means that he had sworn to me that no one ever makes any money in an MLM unless you're the one that starts it. And if we're not starting it, he doesn't want to hear it. So but I really, really, really felt like that this was something that we needed to try and to do. Long story short, I gave the sample that she gave me to him. We went on a date night to Square Burger, downtown McKinney.
Who's been? Anyone?
Love that place. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I had not had the sample. I sat and ate my entire hamburger. Phil ate half of his and looked at me and said, I'm full, I'm done. And if you knew my husband and you knew his love for red meat and hamburgers, you would have gone, okay, what's wrong with you? And I asked him, are you sick? And he said, no, I'm good. I don't want it. And so very quickly, we realized that the products work. In the last 13 months, the only doctor's visits that we have had in our entire family of 5 have been well visits. Our 13-year-old son, who sits here before you today, has been on steroids at least twice in a year, every year of his life, until this year, with asthma. For asthma. We all have allergies. Phil has plantar fasciitis. His plantar fasciitis went away within 3 days of drinking just the Slim alone. We both lost weight. I lost approximately 20 pounds in about 9 weeks. And I was unusual that I had quick and fast results. But when we talk about all in, what happened in those first 2 days and taking that one sample is that we realized, hey, this is something that we need to look at. For the low cost investment of $34.95, we said, why not? We're going to jump all in. I started posting the minute that I signed up as an ambassador. I think that within the first 2 weeks, I had 6 ambassadors under me and had sold almost $2,000 in product. And that was only because of Facebook and really making that commitment that if we're going to do this, we're all in. Because the one condition with Mr. Mango about spending money on a welcome pack and the $34.95 was, you better know that next month you have to have the money to pay for this. Because the backstory is that in May of 2013, I'm a speech pathologist. I was working part-time in the afternoons, and I was taking time away from my kids and my family to do what I needed to do to help our family financially. And what happened is that the Lord really had put on my heart that I was supposed to stay at home. And I came to Phil and said that, and he said okay, and had a big smile on his face, not knowing where that extra income was going to come from. And very quickly that income was replaced, and then it was doubled, and then it was tripled. And I can stand here today telling you the financial blessings that we have received from Plexus have been enormous. Our kids kind of complain about getting in the Lexus. They're like, Mom, hurry up and get the bigger Lexus so that we don't have to sit on top of each other in the back seat of the white one. We love it. Like Matt Martin said, he's like, we're working on our TANs for Hawaii in a couple of weeks. We're getting to go all expenses, most of the expenses paid for Hawaii, and we're taking our 3 children with us because it really has been a family effort. We have been all in from the beginning. And I am here to tell you that if you're in this room, there's something within you that is saying all in. And we're going to really challenge that and hopefully equip you tonight with some product understanding, with hearing some testimonies, and then also looking at the comp plan and then hearing about how you can grow your team from people that have already done it. I'm going to briefly touch on our products. You can see that I have most of them up here. Our flagship product, obviously, is the Plexus Slim. It was created for type 2 diabetes. Plexus was originally, most of you probably know that, but some of you that are kicking the tires here tonight probably did not know that. I did not bring the breast health kit, and Phil has not offered. Oh, look at Becky. Oh, here we go. Maybe in October's meeting we can do something fun with this. But
maybe later.
We always have some kind of slanderous things being said. This is what happens when you do your business together. And I didn't say, and I'm sorry, honey, Phil is a Ruby ambassador with Plexus, and I would not be an Emerald ambassador anywhere where I am without him as my support and partner. So thank you, honey. So this is, thank you, Miss Becky, the breast health kit. Give you that back. But in 2009, Slim was created. In late 2010, the program or the company as you know it and I know it was set up so that we could do direct sales. And the reason why we do that, and a lot of people ask, why didn't they take this product and put it on the shelves at Walmart, is because of all of us in this room. Because if we all of us that have been on the product have some sort of testimony, right? Some sort of testimony, whether it's weight loss, whether it's our diabetes and our sugar is under control, if it's increased energy, if we're sleeping better at night. The other products that we have are our probiotic and our BioCleanse, as well as our X Factor, and we like to put that together in a little package and call it our Fab 5 with either the accelerator or the boost. This is a really unbecoming picture of, sorry, a little ADD right there.
I should have put the X on the floor.
I needed it.
Yeah,
I needed it.
okay.
We also have a fast relief system, which includes our nerve health support, as well as our cream and our pills, which are all natural, plant-based products. Again, our family, we go through, fast relief cream was one of those things that I was like, well, I'll buy it because I want to try it, but I don't think anyone's going to use it. And we are replacing that on a continual basis because it works for cramps, it works for pulled and strained muscles, it works for sunburns, it works for bug bites, it works for our 8-year-old has celiac, and when she has a tummy episode, she asks for the fast relief cream. So we have just really benefited as a family globally from all of the products. We have the Plexus body cream, we have the chewables there. If you have questions about products, get back with the person that invited you or your sponsor, or certainly online. We'll probably address things later. At this time, thinking about the products, we all know the theme of our meeting tonight is switching it up in September. And for any of you who've been on the product 6 months or longer, raise your hands. Okay, how many of you, hands still raised, have switched up the way you've taken the product from the original? Yeah. It's important because just like with exercise, our body gets really used to the things that we do. We're creatures of habit, and we kind of get in a rut and we kind of get going. So we know that our products work. A lot of times we hear, well, gosh, the products are working awesome. And then, so there are times that you have to change up the way you're taking your products. You have to change up how much water you're drinking sometimes. You have to flush things out. But then there's this other part to us that goes along with taking the product. How many of you in this room have met someone or had a customer that has said, I don't think it's going to work for me. I just don't think it's going to work for me. And then guess what? Did it work for them? No. But then there's those people that go, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Erica Garcia is one. She sat at a hockey game with me and was like, girl, if you take it, I know it can work for me. I know. Get me that stuff and sign me up. that it worked for her immediately. Then she was like, you know what, I know I'm going to build, I can do this as a business. Tell me what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. And guess what? She did. There's this little part of our brain that really makes a difference in how we use these products. Guys, we've been given awesome products, but then there's part of us that is at work. So our next speaker is one of our ambassadors. We are thrilled to have her on our team. One of the awesome things that Plexus does is reconnect you with your past in multiple ways, because often our avenue of meeting people or reconnecting with people. And Vicki Meek is one of those people that I've been pleasantly pleased to connect with. Vicki Meek has dedicated her life to helping people recognize and resolve the spiritual and emotional issues that keep them, quote unquote, stuck. In 2012, she completed a 3-year training with an affiliate of Be in Health Incorporated in Thomaston, Georgia. She recently became certified in and disease patient. She became a Plexus ambassador in May because she sees Plexus as a good fit for her life's calling. Today, she is going to share some insights that may be hindering our weight loss and overall health. So, with no further ado, Vicki.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good evening. It's so wonderful to see you all here today, and I really appreciate you giving me some time to speak with you. I'm one of those counselor types, and I work in the realm of thoughts and emotion and relationship. And so tonight I'm going to give you some insight into how those dynamics can possibly hinder maybe your weight loss or your goals in your health or in even in building your business. And so tonight I'm going to start with a startling statistic from a book called Who Switched Off My Brain by neuroscientist Dr. Carolyn Leaf. And in that book we find out that 87% of disease is attributed to toxic thinking and toxic emotion. 87%. And only 13% is diet, genetics, and the environment all put together. That's a shocking thing, but in my experience with working with people, this is absolutely on board. Also, she states that research links chronic diseases and lifestyle diseases associated with toxic emotions. So today I want to give you a small lesson on the endocrine system so that I can explain how thoughts affect our physical health. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about how past hurts actually affect our thinking today. And then I'm just going to give you a brief testimony to tie it all together. Our hypothalamus is the master gland of the endocrine system. The endocrine system is the glands of the body. And it maintains homeostasis or biological peace. It functions chemically and neurologically, and its job is to counteract everyday stresses and to keep the body in balance. The hypothalamus actually responds to our spiritual and our thought life. The thoughts start here in the cerebrum, moves through the limbic system where memory and emotions are associated, and hits the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus will respond based on what's going on up there. So if I'm angry in my thoughts and in my emotions, the hypothalamus will start secreting chemicals to enable me to express that anger. So, how do thoughts affect our physiology? The fact is peaceful thoughts create a peaceful body. And the opposite is true. Disease is actually the dis-ease of our body chemistry. Did you know that over 60 diseases are produced by hyper and hypo secretions? And when this dynamic is in place, when there's an over or an under secretion of a chemical, it produces a specific disease. And an example of that would be hypothyroidism, which is the under secretion, and hyperthyroidism, which is the over secretion of a chemical called thyroxine. So, what interferes with homeostasis? Well, stress does. So what is stress? Well, we feel stress when we feel threatened. Now, we may feel threatened because there is an imminent danger coming toward us, but there are several ways to feel threatened. We can feel threatened in relationship. When people that are in our lives that are supposed to love and care for us don't, we feel threatened. See, if you think about your life, you think about how relationship makes you feel safe and protected. And when that is not there, you can feel threatened. And so if I feel threatened, I have fear. And then stress can come when there are demands and expectations laid upon us. But why does that stress us out? Well, it stresses us out because I'm afraid of the consequence if I fail. And why are we afraid to fail? We're afraid to fail because we're afraid of the rejection. We're also prone to stress because I can't control my environment. Or we may perceive that we can't control our environment. And what I have become to understand is that when I have a need to control my environment or control people around me or things around me, I have recognized that I'm going into fear. And and the reason I need to control it is because I'm looking for a way to feel safe. I'm looking for a way to feel like I'm okay. And so what I've learned to recognize is that when I'm controlling, I have got to ask myself, what are you afraid of, Vicki? Because I want you to get that how many times do you say in a day, in a week, in a month, I'm so stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed. I want you to recognize that when you are there, you are battling fear. And that doesn't make us stupid or bad, it just means that we have an enemy that we need to overcome. And until we recognize it for what it is, we could never overcome it. So, I want to say this. Okay. So what happens chemically when we have this dynamic? And first of all, let me say that the hypothalamus does not recognize the difference between an impending danger that is coming toward me or a perceived threat, like maybe something that I have just described to you, or anger. Chemically, it doesn't know the difference. The only thing it knows is that I have an enemy and I need to defeat it. And so it will respond accordingly. So when this is happening, what happens chemically? And let me qualify this with a basic thing. Let's say you're at an event and someone walks in that looks like somebody that hurts you deeply. What happens to you when you see that person? Your heart starts to race, the respiratory rate increases, you get clammy around the edges, and the hypothalamus goes, alert, alert, silence, there's an enemy in the room. And it starts sending out a neurotransmitter that picks up on that fear. And so what we do then is we go into a mode called fight or flight. The body is gearing up to either fight that enemy or to run, basically. Now, you look again at that person and you realize it's not that person that hurt you, and hopefully you can calm down now because the threat is really not a threat. So if the danger is taken care of, you can go back into peace. But what if it isn't taken care of? What if when that thing happens, you automatically go back into that situation and you start reliving what that wound was, and all of the feelings that you felt start coming towards you, and the anger. You haven't resolved it. You haven't come to peace and you're still stuck with it, and now you're right back in the battle. You're not able to forgive it, and a lot of my experiences is not that people are unwilling to forgive, they just really don't know how to do it and take back their life concerning it. They'll do it in their will, but they need help to actually make it a reality in their life to where they're not stuck anymore. I want you to also understand that when you feel rejected and abandoned and you don't feel loved, that too will take you into fight or flight. It isn't just an imminent danger, it's how you perceive your world. And if you really don't feel like people are caring for you, you can literally go into fight or flight over that. And we do. We absolutely do. So, Dr. Candace Pert says that information molecules carry a literal photocopy of our thought life and its emotions. And it goes all the way through your body, through your bloodstream, and it is able to cause changes at the cell level, restructuring cell makeup on the outside and DNA on the inside. Do you know what she's saying here? She is saying that our thoughts have the ability and the power to change our cell structure and change our DNA. That's pretty powerful. Livestrong.com says that chronic long-term stress increases levels of cortisol that plays hormonal and metabolic reactions that lead to weight gain. It triggers fat cells to store and grow fat, especially in the visceral area, where around the abdomen and around the organs. So what I am saying here is that cortisol causes weight gain. It causes the body to hold on to fat and to grow fat. And cortisol is released when we don't have peace in our thoughts. So if we're constantly riled up, your body is releasing cortisol because there's an enemy. When you're mad at someone, there's an enemy, and your body is responding accordingly. And when you are constantly being pinged off, and you're constantly battling these emotions and these thoughts, we call it the cortisol drip. It's a constant release of cortisol in your body. That's constantly working at storing that fat. But another big issue is excess cortisol will not only cause weight gain, it will destroy your immune system. And now you are left with a little less and less defense against the antigens and things that come against us. We are paying a very high price for not dealing with these issues. Not only are we tormented because these things are not going away, but our body is being tormented too. I want to give you, just hold on right there, I want to give you a little bit of a testimony of the last 18 months for me. I actually lost a lot of weight last year, and I was not on Plexus. In fact, I wasn't interested in Plexus. I thought it was the latest fad diet, but I was losing weight on my own. Now, I went pretty much gluten-free, and I got on the treadmill more, and I was more active, but there was a lot of weight that fell off of me last year. And I believe the reason for that is that I had been spending the year or so previously working through my junk, forgiving those that I needed to forgive, for real. And the hardest part is to forgive myself. See, usually we can forgive others. It's forgiving ourselves that usually is a very difficult thing to do. But I had earnestly really sought to find peace with my past and to be able to be unstuck and move forward and have a future. And because of that, I was able to make an important decision, and I was able to get rid of a major stressor in my life. And I began to become happier. And I believe my cortisol levels dropped drastically because of it, and the weight fell off. Now, not all of it, and I am grateful that I found that I got the truth about Plexus, and that I realized that now I have a wonderful product that can help work with me and what I am doing to bring me into greater wellness and to bring greater peace into my body. Because of all the stress that has happened over the years, I need an aid. And and that has been a wonderful thing because now I can finish my journey. The interesting thing, I'm going to say this because some of you probably have experienced this. When I got in, I got all in. When I got in, I got all in. I knew one day I would build a multi-level marketing business. I was just waiting for the right one to come. I'm a big believer in network marketing. And I got in, and I knew the product would work. I didn't question whether it was going to work. I knew it would work. I just knew how I needed the wisdom on how to make it work the best for me. But when I got in, I got a few weeks into it, and then all of a sudden I recognized that I started going, okay, should I eat this? And should I eat that? And should I take this product now? And I started to become very focused on what I should be doing. Anyone do that? And you just get really focused in, oh my God, what am I doing? Should I eat that or not? I feel guilty for eating that. And now you start going into stress, don't you? You start getting stressed about it. You're trying to control what's going on by coming up with a better solution. And when I recognized how I was beginning to feel, I stopped and said, okay, I'm not doing this. I'm not going into the torment for one thing. I don't want my cortisol levels to go up. And then there's another dynamic when you're in fear like that. Your cells tighten up just like you do when you're in fear. So the cells of your body are unable to get rid of the waste and absorb the nutrients nearly as well as when you're at peace. So you can eat the best food, you can take the best products, but if your cells are not permeable enough, you're not getting the full benefit. So right then and there I said, I'm taking my peace, I'm going to trust the process, and I put it away, I quit worrying about it, and now I'm getting really great results, and I'm happy to. Isn't that great? Now, one last thing before I leave, let this go. I wanted to talk about identity. I was one of 4 children, and I was the overweight one. I don't know if any of you had that experience, but what happens is that becomes your identity in the family. And then you grow up, and then you don't leave that identity. So what happens is there is a powerful truth that says you are who you think you are. So in your life, have you said, I am the fat one, I am the black sheep, I'm the sick one, I'm the one who always fails? If you do, that will sabotage your progress because you have to stay true to who you think you are, your identity. You cannot change because your identity won't allow it. And so I wanted to bring that up because I think there's someone in this room that may recognize what I'm talking about. And we need to go in there and change who you think you are. So I want to end this with a call to action. I'm going in line with the all-in thing. I call this speech all-out walkout. Walkout is what I use to tell my clients where I say it's a walkout. You walk 3 steps forward, you take 2 steps back, that's just reality. But as long as you keep walking and walking forward, you're going to get where you're going to go. So I have decided that I want all-out walkout. I want peace in my heart, and I want peace in my mind. I want peace in my body, peace in my relationships, and peace in my finances. And I'm accepting nothing less. And I'm encouraging you all to accept nothing less for yourself. Why start in the self-improvement thing and not take it all? Another thing is, the thing I love about multi-level is that it works on a very godly principle. You cannot succeed unless you help others succeed. I love that. And I want you to embrace that. If you want to reach your goals, the best way to do that is go help someone out reach their goals. And then, pre-diabetes and diabetes is in epidemic portions. There's a lot of people out there that need this message and need this product. And so I'm asking you to be the hands and feet and to really put something in your heart and become all in about it. Because people need this product, they need the conversation, they need the relationship for someone to help them walk out of this. And so I end this with saying that the wonderful thing about Plexus is we can go and work this wonderful cause and get paid very well to do it. I want to thank you all tonight, and if any of you feel like there's something that I could help you with, something I said that maybe sparked an interest, you go ahead and contact me and let's have a conversation. Thank you.
Just come here for a second. Since our studio audience didn't get to see you because they basically thought a ghost was talking the whole time. This is Vicki Neeb. Thank you very much. All right, great job. Great job. A lot to digest. I saw a lot of note taking, and hopefully people go home. I'm a winner. I am a winner. I'm going to keep saying that. All right. Oh, sorry. I'm blocking your view, Mike. It's okay. Just go to print file. Okay, we're good. Don't worry. Technical director trying to produce. Stay in your job, technical director. All right. The next thing we're going to do. Who saw this, by the way? Inc. 500 or Inc. magazine. Everybody heard of it? Yes. Out of the 500 fastest growing companies, what was Plexus? Number 8. Not too shabby. 159 million in revenue. My favorite stat was down here. It started in 2006, and if you can do math, there's 130 employees. There were 120 added in the last 3 years. So from 2006 to 2011, there were 10 people. So we've had some tremendous growth, and you all are a part of that. It's real exciting. We're going to transition from products and talk a little bit about comp plan. This is really easy, right? Everyone gets this, the comp plan? Piece of cake. Okay. Well, yeah. What if there's maybe a better way to explain the comp plan. All right, so we're ready for a little interaction. All right, let me get some volunteers. Let's see here. Or you know what? I got a better idea because I don't like volunteers. I like messing with people. Come on, buddy, stay with me. I'm quick and fast. Now, I want everyone to look under the table, and if you have a note card, you are to grab it and come running to the front. Feel our need. Oh, you got a note card. Let's go. There's not an option. Come on. All right, you're going to form a line. First person next to me, form a line. Don't you love it? Exciting. What a good-looking group of people in the audience. All right, and up here as well. All right, so how many ways do we get paid in Plexus? 11. So I've got 11 cards. Take one, the number 1, and then pass it down. Okay, so let's see if I can explain the comp plan. The 11 ways you get paid in 11 minutes or less. There's no prize for winning in 11, except my own joy. All right, so come up here. I want to play game show host. What's your name?
Vivian.
Vivian, how long have you been with Plexus?
2 weeks. I've been on the product for 30 days, too.
Awesome.
And I've lost 9
Nice.
pounds.
Congratulations. Okay, so stand right here. Hold up number 1. Make sure it's not upside down. There we go. So, the 11 ways you get paid with Plexus. Number 1, flip it over. Personal volume. Okay? Personal volume is essentially just that. How much you personally sell, you're paid between 15 and 25%. So a simple example, not getting complicated, if you were able to do $1,000 in personal volume, you would be paid 25% after that first initial $100. So $900, 25%. Who's got some quick math? What would you make? I don't know. I don't have my math brain on me. $225. Very good. So, number 1, personal volume. Thank you very much. You're good.
Where'd I go?
Wherever you would like.
Okay.
What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Stephanie. I'm from here.
Okay. And how long have you been with Plexus?
3 months.
Congratulations.
Great.
Don't worry. I'm not going to do that with everybody. I got to get 11 minutes. Come on over. I'm not going to bite. Second way you get paid. Preferred customer bonuses. Okay? So a monthly bonus is paid for every preferred customer that orders products. The preferred customers get discounted pricing and are set to auto ship. So number 1, personal volume. Number 2, preferred customer bonuses. So really simple. Everyone following? Good. Let's go to 3. Thank you very much. Give her a hand. Okay. Number 3, your name?
Chandra Staley.
Wonderful. All right, let's see it.
I'm from Garland.
Okay, you're from Garland? How long have you been with Plexus?
Almost 4 months.
Congratulations. What rank are you?
I'm silver.
Awesome.
I've
Awesome.
lost almost 40 pounds.
Wow, that deserves a hand. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Okay, number 3, the third way you get paid. Business builder bonuses. Okay, anyone know what a business builder bonus is?
I got 3 times.
Business builder bonuses. I can't. So this is something that you're paid out on a weekly basis. So as you're building a team, in other words, bringing on ambassadors, you get paid when they get a qualified welcome pack. You're paid 1 through 4 levels down. So that's someone that you personally sponsor, all the way down to 4 levels. So if I sign up Erica, and she signs up Stacy, and she signs up Jackie, I'm getting paid on Jackie, on Stacy, and on Erica. Business builder bonuses paid weekly every Friday. Got it? All right. Thank you very much. Give her a hand.
Sorry. 4.
These Canadians, I tell you what.
Hi, Canadian friends.
They're all watching. Jackie Mack, number 4. Let's see what you got. Oh, no. Jackie, how much weight have you lost since you've been on Plexus?
I have lost 76 pounds as of today.
And she's a senior gold ambassador on her way to Ruby and bigger and better things.
1 year.
1 year. Here we go. Number 4. Personal volume overrides. Okay, so I've just sponsored Erica, Stacy, and Jackie. Erica's my level 1, which means that whatever she does in personal volume, I'm going to earn 5%. So let's say Erica has a great month, which she's had before and has every month, and she does $5,000 in personal volume. What's 5% of $5,000? $250, and I don't know any of her customers. I just get paid that much money. That's not a bad deal. Now multiply Erica times 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or maybe over here with Rainey Spalding. How many level 1s do you have, Rainey? 68 level 1s doing all sorts of incredible volume and getting 5% of their PV. That does not stink at all. Okay, we're moving on. Thank you very much, Jackie. The fifth way you get paid, your name? Melinda. How long have you been with Fluxus? Any exciting news you want to share? It's not going well. They can't all be gems. Okay. I'm just kidding.
She's gonna be a gem. You be nice.
That's a joke.
She's on my team.
She's a gold ambassador. Give it that. Gold is a big level. Very good. The hardest level to get to is gold, and then the flywheel effect. My team knows what that's all about. Number 5, achievement bonuses. So when Melinda got to gold status, she made a $250 bonus. So every level, whether it's silver, gold, senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, earns a bonus all the way down to $750. That's paid monthly on the 15th month. Questions? Got it? Piece of cake? One-time bonus. Thank you very much, Melinda. Next.
She's a winner. She's a winner.
She's a winner. She's leaving. I bet her. I promise. Your name?
Marianne.
Marianne, how long have you been with Plexus?
About 2.5 weeks.
Congratulations. Give me the highlights so far.
I like the product so far. I've had great results using the cream for plant pain. Don't know about the weight. I'm losing.
You and me both. But it's coming, slowly but surely.
My scales were broken, so that was an excuse not to get on.
Yeah. It happens all the time.
I just know the clothes is fitting looser.
There we go. That's the bag. It's pounds and inches. Number 6. Fast. That's right. Fast start achievement bonus. So we just talked about achievement bonuses. If you can do a fast start, in other words, hit that level of gold in your first 30 days, those bonuses double. So that gold bonus was how much? $250. And if you double it, that's the 6th way you get paid. Thank you very much. Next. What's your name, young lady?
Gail.
Gail. And how long have you been with Plexus?
4 months.
4 months. Anything exciting you want to share?
Well, I'm a guest tonight, and I'm taking it right now to lose weight.
Good.
15 months so far, but working on it.
Still working on it. All about those thoughts. I'm a winner. Here we go. Come on closer. I won't bite, I promise. The 7th way you get paid, and this is exciting. Pay points. This is what I like to call long-term income. A pay point is something you get for every qualified ambassador, levels 1 through 7 down. So a level 1 through 3 ambassador is worth 5 pay points. Levels 4 is 3, 4 is 4, 5 is 3, 6 is 2 points, and a level 7 earns you 1 point. On average, the pay points have ranged between $2.82 upwards of $4, so we just say it's around $3 a pay point. So I say it's long-term income because when you become someone like these ladies over here and Corday and some others who have earned thousands of pay points every month, that you can do the math. If it's $3 a pay point and you've got a couple thousand, before you sell a dime, before your team does anything, you've got that in income every month. Stay on. Stay on. Pay points. Long-term income. Thank you very much. All right, number 8. I'm going to step back. This guy, he makes me nervous right here. He's big and strong. You like this. Thank you. All right, number 8. What's your name?
Greg Haney.
Greg, he's going to shake my hand. Hey, Greg,
Looking forward to being on that first Plexus game show with you.
Yeah, we're going to make millions off of that. All right, number 8. Ooh, look at that. The Emerald Profit Pool. So we talked about levels silver all the way up to Senior Ruby. The next level is Emerald. We've got 2 emeralds over there. We got an emerald back here. An emerald profit pool is just that. Plexus shares the profits. And the emerald pool is 3%. I can tell you that's a nice profit-sharing check each and every month, and it only gets bigger. So, 8th way you get paid, emerald profit pool. Everybody got it? All right, thank you very much. Hello, hello, your name?
Chloe.
Chloe, how long have you been with Plexus?
About 4 months.
4 months, and give me a highlight.
I love it. It's awesome. It's the best job for a college student.
Boom, college student. My 13-year-old's ready to sell. All right, so let's see, the ninth way you get paid. I think I've got an idea what this might be. It's the sapphire profit pool. So we've got emerald, sapphire. Remember, you earn 3% at emerald. You earn 4% at sapphire. Not bad, Rainey?
Not bad. And just to kind of interject, when you hit sapphire, you're dipping in that emerald pool. You're dipping in that emerald pool as well as that sapphire pool. So when you hit diamond, you're dipping in the emerald, sapphire, and diamond pool. So I know we're going to get there, but I want to make sure that y'all realize that. But that's continual residual income.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're getting to number 10. I think we have an idea what it is. What's your name?
Quinn Joe Phillips Morris. Big one.
Quinn and Joe Phillips Morris. Junior.
Thanks, Heather.
I was going to say something about your cigarettes, but I don't think we're done with that, Phillips Morris. Okay.
No.
Let's see. The 10th way you get paid? The diamond profit pool, like Brady just alluded to, 5%, plus the emerald, plus the sapphire. All right? Very good. We're on number 11. How are we doing on time? Everybody still awake? All right, good. Number 11, what's your name?
Melinda.
Melinda, tell me something that you love about Plexus.
Less anxiety.
Less anxiety, except when you come up here with strange men and make you ask you questions.
Yes.
Okay, 11th way you get paid. Diamond reentry. Rainey Spaulding is a diamond silver.
Not yet. Have one more to go.
Okay, so she got to re-enter and underneath herself. So she hit diamond, and now she gets to start all over again because she loves it so much. Not that she wants to make double the money, but she also just gets to. We have your upline, Celeste, just hit diamond emerald, and so she got the big $9,000 car, and Plexus is paying for it. It's not a bad deal. That's the 12th way you get paid. So, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, that's the 11 ways to get paid. Everybody got it? Okay. The other ways that we didn't talk about, I'd say the 12th and the 13th way, is that you do earn at the emerald level that Plexus Lexus. Almost screwed up. Which my kids are complaining about because they're so tight in the ES350 that Plexus pays for. They didn't say that they were in the Ford 500 they used to call the junkie car, or the hot car, because the AC rarely worked, and now they're cruising in that. But that's a great benefit. In addition to that, like Jen mentioned earlier, there's the Emerald Isle, the trip that this year is going to Hawaii. We'll see what happens next year where they go, as well as all sorts of other leadership opportunities. Anything else on the comp plan? Clear as mud? Okay, very good. Riley, what do we got next? All right, we've got our next guest speaker. And I don't have his bio loaded. There we go, perfect. You want to read it? I'll let you read it. This is my theatrical son here.
Yes. So I'm proudly to introduce Matt Martin. He's originally from Dallas area and attended Texas A&M University. Go Gigamaggies. He met his wife Melissa, and there they lived in Dallas, and they had 4 kids. Matt launched a high-end residential construction company when he was 25. Over the next 11 years, his company grew to one of the premier home building companies in DFW. His homes were featured in D Magazine and FD Lux. Locally, in rooms featured in Architectural Digest nationally. After 2008, Matt became the executive director of Bill Glass, a national prison ministry that took professional athletes and entertainers into 270 prisons across the U.S. In 2011, Matt began his real estate business again. He is now the top producer in the Dallas market and has experienced triple-digit growth since he began. He considers the most successful thing in his life in this recovery from destructive addictions and moving to become the person he was created to be. Ladies and gentlemen, Silver Ambassador Matt Martin.
Never had an introduction like that.
Give it all that. There you go. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to kick on my timer here real quick. See, when you take 200 and when you take all those professional athletes and speakers into prisons, you have to tell them how long they have, or else they don't ever stop. I don't know if anybody's ever experienced that. So let me kick this on. All right. So I'm going to stand right here on the X for you, Phil.
There you go.
Can you
My
see
man.
me? Oh,
You can.
look, I can see myself. That's awesome. And you make my head shine. That's even better. Thank you, Phil. Right, and, we're highlighting the fact. Do we have a hair growth product yet? I've been, this is actually my breast reduction. This actually works for me on breast reduction. So I just didn't know. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I love you. So, yeah, you women have one product. We men have another. So, listen, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for being here. I love speaking. I don't think you're overachievers because that indicates that you're overdoing what you're capable of. I think you're high achievers. And anybody in this room is a high achiever. And I'm really grateful that how it's kind of worked out is that being all in. Because if you're here tonight, you really want to be all in. Nobody does this. Nobody sits in traffic on the tollway to be not all in. Amen? All right. So let me just tell you this, how this goes. The more you agree, the more you nod, the more you laugh, the faster I go. So that's another thing you'll need to learn about me. Okay. So what I want to talk to you about is two things, okay? Number one is truth, and number two is grace. Okay? One is truth, two is grace. Now, you would think, why would those two things be important? Well, let me tell you, these two things are the foundation of favor. Okay? So, how many Plexus ambassadors are there in the world? About 250,000. So, guess what? Everybody has a lot of cheap people to choose who they buy their product from, correct? All right, so chances are, Facebook, I mean, we live in a huge market. We do. But, you know, we were driving, my wife and I, personal testimony, we're driving down the road today and we get this nasty email because my wife bought product from someone in another multi-level marketing product, and they sent an email back saying, I was the first one to tell you about it and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, it wasn't exactly true, but it goes to the point that what we're doing in life is there's competition. And in this competition, we need favor, right? We need to be the one that gets picked. And we all want to be the one that gets picked. There's a second reason it's important, is because the foundation for personal growth and growth in yourself is truth and grace. It's what's supposed to be when we start from the very beginning, right? Mom's supposed to say, that wasn't the best, but I still love you. That's the way it's supposed to be. So what I want to do tonight is talk a little bit about what truth and grace, kind of what it looks like, and then just some really quick steps and things that you can do that will help to increase this in your life. Now, how I did this was I joined a group with a guy who wrote the book Boundaries, Dr. Townsend, and I spent I spent a day with this guy a month for 3 years. I won't tell you how much it was because it was ridiculously expensive, but it was the best thing I ever did. Because there was a bunch of people that were all in the rooms, and they were all either multimillionaires, CEOs, COOs, presidents of universities. Everybody there was highly successful. So let me tell you the really cool thing is everybody there was really self-conscious, and everybody there sat there and go, gosh, this guy's better than I am. I can't talk after this person. Because why? We were all self-conscious about who we were, right? And once we began to get grace in a group, all of a sudden we were happy to be who we were. How many people want to be happy with who they are? And that's me too. All right, so why was truth and grace so important to me? Well, in 2008, anybody remember the fourth quarter of 2008? Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. We had 2 clients file bankruptcy in a matter of a week. It was so great. You know, let me think about real estate laws, how it kind of works. When they file bankruptcy and it's not their personal homestead, it goes back to the bank. Guess what? The bank's not liable to pay you. So you know what that means? That means you have a choice as an owner. You can either pay everybody that you contracted, or you can say, I'm going to file bankruptcy as well. My wife and I made a decision that we would pay everybody back, hey, how awesome is this? We're actually done. Thank you very much. We lost $1 million in 3 days. Yeah, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, it was fun. Let me tell you, it was great. And why would I need truth and grace in that? Because how many people would feel like a failure when they lost their home, everything? How would you feel? Pretty bad, right? So what's the truth? Well, what the truth was it was a horrible economic downturn that I couldn't do anything about. That was the truth, right? Here's another truth. I structured a couple of my contracts inappropriately. They just didn't do them right. And you know what? Because of that, there was nothing I could do. My recourse was very little. So guess what I needed from that? I needed grace. I have 4 kids, a beautiful wife, and my budget is not light. My budget is not light every month. And when we did that, when we lost the house in Dallas and all the different things that we did, I got grace from my wife. She didn't say, she knew what I had done, I admitted what I did, but she gave me grace, okay? So, simply put, grace is acceptance, compassion, understanding, and empathy, okay? And why would that be important? Why would, what would be the importance of, what is acceptance? Acceptance is I can take you just as you are. Okay, how many people want to be sold? How many people want you, or when you're buying a product or you're working with someone, do you want them to accept you for who you really are? Well, are you messy? I'm messy. In case you're wondering, I'm nuts. I am certifiably crazy, messy nuts. So when people work with me, I want them to give me grace. I want them to accept me for who I am. I have ADHD. I have every initial you can imagine. I'm sure you can see as I'm talking here right now that I might go everywhere in every moment of every day. I mean, my brain is all over the place. So you know what? Acceptance that I have people that work with me that I love, they look at me and they can say, hey, Matt, you're all over the board right now. And I can go, oh, thanks so much. You know what? Because I know they love me, they can tell me the truth, and I can hear it. That means I can change the behavior. It means I can do something about it. And I've created a bond with that person that works with me. All right? We all want that. The second thing is empathy and understanding. Empathic is what's happening most of the time when you sell is you're empathically talking to, like when you go, yeah, I've lost 20 pounds in a month and a half or 2 months, and I didn't believe the product would work. That person is going, I want to lose 20 pounds, and I don't think the product will work. Oh, wait, I know where you're coming from, okay? Then there's the second piece of this that you may not. I haven't had the experience to be 100 pounds overweight. I haven't. So when I go to speak to that person, I can't empathically say, oh, well, yeah, well, it worked for me for 15 pounds, so it ought to work for 100. That's insulting. It's insulting. What it says is, what I hear you telling me is, it seems like an overwhelming obstacle to overcome. Now, that's understanding. That's just, I entered in where they were at, and I'm repeating back the emotion that they're giving. Okay, and the last one is, again, acceptance. I started with acceptance, I ended with acceptance. Well, why in the world would I start and end with that? Because that's what it's all about. If you hear nothing else, and I'm going to tell you in this, hear the fact of accepting people for who they are. Now, that's really hard when you want them to join your team. It's really hard for me. I know none of you else suffer with that. So congratulations, I'm the crazy one again. Because I want them to do something, right? And so acceptance says I can step out of my place of what I want, and then I can put you in front for who you are and let you be comfortable with it. Now, I've done the really fun part of the grace part, and that's made a lot of sense. Now let's talk about the truth part. Now, here's the reason why truth is important. Because if I never stop, if I hear the same thing 2 times or 3 times, and I give that person, I call it relational currency, right? We have a bank account, right? We have a relational currency. Well, you can draw on that currency now and start telling them the truth. Now, how many people have seen the horrible movie August of Osage County? Yeah? There's a great scene in there where she's the truth teller at the table. We all have truth tellers in our family, and I won't tell you who they are in my family. It's not my wife and I. There's other that say things that are completely inappropriate that are true, right? Like who's doing what and who's sleeping with what. It's the whole thing, right? Okay, that may be truth, but it has no grace in it. It's worthless. It's worthless. But when you can give somebody the truth that says, you're not hitting your numbers like you said that you wanted to hit, what's going on? As opposed to, well, next month you'll just go and get them. Because there's something completely different. Because everybody kind of runs away from that confrontive piece that says you're not doing what you said you'd want to do. And this is the reason why it's important tonight on how it works out with all in. Because guess what? We're not going to be all in every day. That's a truth. Anybody all in every day? Not without prescription medication. Amen? Oh, sorry. No, that's incorrect. I'm sorry. Nobody's all in it every day. And if it is, they're only going to last for a little while, right? That'll burn out. It's called willpower. So what I want to just kind of talk to you about just briefly here is the fact that the truth says that I can tell you something that's true. Now, a scale is truth, except for when it's broke, right? A scale is truth. It doesn't. It's just numbers. It's neutral, right? But it points out something to us that we wanted something to happen, or we were aspiring, or we were moving, and it doesn't match, right? So that's when we need the grace. So the last thing is, and I got 1 minute left. The last thing is this. I want to teach you how to do this. Most important. Now, how many of you can feed yourselves? Excellent. Congratulations. I like to wear mine. I eat through osmosis. My tile will show you that. So here's what it is. This is really important, okay? So as she so eloquently talked about the different states that we're in, all those different things, here it is. As an adult, you have to feed yourself, right? An adult means you have to ask for what you need. You have to ask for what you need. Well, I didn't know what I needed, right? So here it is. Compassion, empathy, acceptance, and understanding. Okay, it's the same things. It's saying to someone, it's picking up the phone and saying, I need to tell you the truth about me. Oh. And I need you to not run away and just hear me. Now here's the thing. I want you to know that when I first started doing this, it would take me 5 phone calls before someone would stop trying to fix me. Anybody know what that feels like? About, oh, we got that. Oh, no problem. I would say, I need you. I want to tell you, I'm not performing. I'm afraid. I'm going to lose my house. I've got 4 kids. I'm afraid that I can't cut it. So that person was able to contain that. They were a bucket, right? And they let me say I was afraid and explore my stuff and where I was at and get mad and cry and scream, say all kinds of horrible things about people. It's really important to do. It really is. I would say all kinds of horrible things to save people that could just hear it and they wouldn't judge me for being the kind of person that would say something horrible. Now, the second piece of that is they would repeat that. I would say, do you understand what I'm talking about? Tell me, or else tell me an experience that you've had that you feel similar that's happened with this before. So what's going to happen with that, it's going to produce this little thing called hope. How many people like hope? I love hope. Hope is what happens when we fail to make it all in and we decide to keep moving. Hope is what does that. You're not going to get that hope without going it and getting it from outside in other relationships, because it was just a matter of an internal thing we'd all have it with. So, in kind of the synopsis of all this whole thing, it's just simply this. It's truth and grace, asking for it from good people, and learning how to get compassion, empathy, acceptance, and understanding. Thanks.
We've got a common theme when we have what we call Mango meeting, and let's hear it from maybe Eric in the back. If you're going to come to our meeting, what are you going to get? You're going to get fed what? Oh my gosh, failing his way. Meat. You're going to get if you come to our house, you're going to get some meat. So hopefully, so far this evening, there's been some good meat, some good information. So without further ado, we're going to wrap this up with a big home run of information from our jewels. So if we could slide our chairs over, Crede, you want to come join us? And I'm going to borrow that chair. So, a lot of you submit some questions. We've got, I think, 7 questions. And then if there's time, we'll take some more questions from the audience. Okay, we're good. All right. So let me do some quick introductions. And I'll start right to left. You know my wife, Jen. Mango Emerald started in July of 2013. She signed up under Crede, Irby. Thankfully, they were shopping and stopped that and started making money on Facebook. Stop shopping. Another one of their peers is Miss Heather Rice. She was also an Emerald Ambassador, and our very sweet Diamond Upline. I said Diamond Silver because I'm just speaking that. Winner.
You know what? We're close. We're so close.
You're so close. Rainy Spalding. So, without further ado, Riley, let's see that first question. So I don't sound like a used car salesman. I didn't write this question, by the way, even though I look like one. What do you say first when talking about plexus to a person? And I'm going to give you all the mic and let you pass it.
I have a good one on this.
And hold it pretty close.
Okay.
There we go.
Usually what I say, if it's just a stranger, is I ask them if they are...
They'll get really tight like you like each
Moving on
other.
up.
There we go. There we go.
Okay. So usually we're all in. So usually what I tell them is I ask them first if they know anyone who is either diabetic, usually kind of wipes things from the very beginning. They're like, oh, I am, or oh, my mom is, or whatever. And I say, well, I work for a wellness company, and we have some great products that help with that. And if you're interested, here's my card, and if you're not, then pass it on to someone who you know that's diabetic or pre-diabetic. So that's what I say. It usually works pretty well because then you're not forcing yourself on that person.
All right. So how do you approach people you don't know regarding plexus? Kind of the same thing, but how do you approach people that you don't know?
Okay. My best advice to you is you're not going to just out of the blue approach somebody. My philosophy in our business is it is truly about the relationship and networking, and that doesn't mean you don't take an opportunity to introduce it, but you want to be very careful as you approach people because we are known as being a weight loss company, first and probably foremost, although we do have other great lines. So I would tell you to strike conversation, network with a purpose, and make sure you pass your information along, and in turn, ask for their information so you can continue that relationship.
Very good. What is the best way to turn customers into ambassadors?
Well, obviously, we want to start with everybody being a customer, and because of that 60-day money-back guarantee, and as a preferred customer. But the first thing that I do when I'm checking in and following up with those customers is asking them, who's noticed? Is your mom noticing? Are people at school noticing? Oh my gosh, well, what about so-and-so? And what about your sister? The minute that somebody starts giving me positive feedback, I start asking who's noticing. And then the next thing out of my mouth is, well, if you want to, you can refer them to me and we'll get them started. And I love referrals. But if you want to get paid because they're already noticing and they're already asking, it's just $34.95. So you set up a situation where you start building for them in their mind, like Matt was talking about, that empathetic part of, well, you're going to make the money and I'm sitting here taking the product and I have people asking me, well, that's a no-brainer. Like, I should be the one making that money. And then you just solidify for them that it's only $34.95. They already love the product, so you start taking away those objections before they can even get them to you, and it's a very natural process. How many people in this room were customers of Fill or Eyes before you were an ambassador? Yes. Lots. We had some that jumped in all in like us, but it really is like, and I started with a big customer base, guys, and then you just start turning those customers into ambassadors, and it's a very natural process.
When you think you've exhausted your Facebook audience in regard to introducing plexus, then what?
You know, Rainey and, well, all four of us actually were having this conversation the other day. I thought that. I really did. And, you know, even 2,000 Facebook friends. Because I've been in plexus for just over a year, you know, and I'm thinking, oh, everybody knows. Well, it's funny because every time, you know, every once in a while I'll switch out my profile picture, my before and after, and, you know, my before my 75-pound loss and then the now. But every time I take it away for, you know, a couple weeks, put it back up, I get messages like people have never seen it before. So don't assume that everybody's getting, you know, every post in your feed, in their feed. I actually went back through, I just sprung out of bed at 5:30, this was 2 weeks ago, went in, sat in the den, got my coffee, and started going back through my list of Facebook friends. Because things change. Circumstances change for people. And you know, my husband illustrated this pretty well. You are an S curve. If you think of a dollar sign, okay, we're the S's. We're constantly moving. Well, our customers and our friends and our Facebook friends, social media, friends at church, whatever, are the straight line. Okay? We're constantly moving, we're doing our thing. And we may or may not hit them during their time of need. So somebody who you think you may have approached, I mean, I started realizing there were people who I thought I had said, you know, hey, are you interested in the product? Are you interested in trying this? Because in the very beginning, people were approaching us. And so now we're having to kind of switch it around and approach other people. And I just say go back through those lists. And if you had a no, you know, 3 or 4 months ago, it may be a yes this time because, you know, they may be on that line of need this time around. Absolutely.
In addition, to what Crede said, you know, always work your existing network, but also step outside of your network. Join a book club. Join a Toastmasters club. I know several people in this group have joined other networking, business networking type groups. So when you feel that you've exhausted Facebook, and I will tell you that probably haven't, but I understand that need for wanting to step out. I'm going to get truthful and real with you. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to do something that isn't familiar. So keep that in mind when you feel like you've exhausted your warm network.
I joined a fight club. Is that?
Yeah, that works. You know, fight. I neglected to mention that one. Fight club.
Fight club. Okay.
I highly recommend that.
Okay, good. With a small but growing team, what are the top 3 things I should do in an effort to do a regular in-person training meeting? And by the way, I don't know about the grammar that was given to us by a teacher. I think it's proper. Not anyone in this room.
Okay, and the first thing that you should do is, this business and meetings, I'm taking this question that it's what they should do in a meeting. Is that how we're reading this?
Yeah, in other words, yeah, what are the 3 things they should do during the meetings? Yeah.
Testimonies tend to be very powerful in these, and that's the feedback that you guys have given us in these meetings, and so we've always tried to incorporate those. So I would tell you that that's going to be your most powerful tool in a meeting like this. And don't assume that what you know, your audience knows, so go over the basics. I can't tell you how many times that our meetings have been what I feel is repetitive, but then I get feedback from you guys and you say you hear something new. So go over the basics. Don't assume because you know it that every ambassador in the room knows it. And then additionally, I would say encouragement for your team to know that you've been where they've been and that this is duplicatable. That's probably been my key word in growing this business is be duplicatable. So be duplicatable, go over the basics, and have the meeting and testimonies. But do have the meeting. I mean, I think that's the thing. Like people always like, hey, I need to be trained on how to have a meeting. Heather and I threw one together, our first meeting out of Fed Rutgers, and we said, come on, and we're going to wing this, and we're going to do this, and hopefully they've gotten better along the way, but we just kind of stuck our feet in the fire and just did it. No one trained us how to do it. So just if you have a team, start having a meeting.
Good. All right. What's the most effective way to turn white lines back to blue and active? Go for it.
It's a rainy show. Okay. Okay, so here's follow up. There's nothing wrong with following up with your white lines. We have been able to save some, and white lines, let me not assume that you'll know what that means. A white line is someone who's gone inactive. It's an ambassador who's gone inactive. So they're no longer commissioned, which they can come back anytime, but they're not earning commission and they're not active. So we want to follow up. But we also want to train our level 1s to be following up with their level 2s. So you being the top of your chain, you're not following up with your level 7s and 12s, because I guarantee you that's not going to be as effective as the person that sponsored them or maybe one level above them. So let's, again, teach duplication to do this. This is so very important. Follow up, but I will also tell you, when they've gone white line, there's a good chance they're not going to come back. So I wouldn't dwell in the past as much as I would pushing forward. Yes?
How often would you follow up?
With a white line?
Yeah.
The question is how often would I follow up with a white line? I'd follow up with initially once, and then based on that feedback, there might be an opportunity to follow up with it again, but I'm not a big believer in chasing the past as much as I am moving forward and continuing to build a team with the people that want to be here. For those of you that came to the meeting at my house, I said one of the key things that you don't want to do is beg people to be in this business. Pour into those that want to be fed.
Additionally, I would like to say this because this has happened to me personally. If you are a sponsor or ambassador that you're looking consistently in your downline in the back office, and you notice a pattern of white lines and they're starting to be more than the green lines or the blue lines, one of the things that is really important is to make sure that the person that is above those white lines is actually training them. So this has happened to me personally. There might be somebody on your team that may not really want to work it as a business, but they have tons of people under them who need the training to be able to know the best way to duplicate their teams. And if you aren't looking below, I would say probably about the first level 1 through 4s, you're not going to know necessarily that these people need help being trained, and then you'll start seeing white lines because they didn't know how to train somebody, and those people decided, well, maybe this isn't working. So really try to focus on your white lines to make sure that the people above them are really training them, and if not, reach down to them and extend a hand and let them know that you're there and you will be available to try to help them however they need to be able to learn duplication.
How do you motivate your team?
I have a lot of team in here, so I don't know. I think that being positive is contagious. Encouraging, like Rainey said, stay in touch. Remember why you were connected to that person in the first place. Don't let all your connection with everyone in your team just be about Plexus, because we're all in the mindset of what we're doing with our business, but then there's people that go through divorces. There's people that have loss in their life. There's people that have a bad day at their regular job, or somebody's sick in their family. You have to be able to connect with people at a very real place so that they know that you're about them before you're just about your business. Because very quickly they're going to go, oh no, Jen's calling me and all she cares about is whether I'm a blue line or not, whether I've hit my $100. I need to stay connected with them so that they stay motivated. Then I need to set a good example. I can't go and tell my team, hey, let's make 5 new contacts this week and not do it myself. So you have to be, like Randy said, duplication is key. You, as the leader of your team, if you want to see your team grow, you have to be willing to do everything you ask your team to do and more. And then the last thing I would say about motivation is help your team identify their why. Help them figure out why they said yes to in the first place. For most of us, we don't take $34.95 and just throw it out the window. There are times that you feel like that has happened, but you've not been purposeful in doing that. There was a reason why you invested in this as a business in the first place. So first, identify your own why, know what it is you want, and then help the people in your team identify what that is. Because then when it's a bad day and people are returning product and they're not ranking when they thought they were for the month, you go back to that why. That helps you keep your blinders on, so you go, this is the reason why I'm doing this. This is where I'm going to stay focused. And lots of stuff, guys, on the side of you. If you want to be successful in this, most of the people on your team at some point are going to quit. That's a very serious reality. If you want to grow your business to be at this level and higher, at some point, most of the people on your team are going to quit. And that's not a really good feeling. But you have to remember your why and then try to help the people that are under you that are ready to go and be all in what their why is and stay focused on that.
Okay, so it's giveaway time. I think we've got maybe 2 or 3 more minutes. Are there any other questions from the audience? You can certainly ask them one-on-one, but if we, maybe maybe 2 more questions if we've got. Going once? Okay, got one right here.
As far as your title is concerned, once you rank as a silver ambassador, you will always be acknowledged as a silver ambassador by the company. However, and I will give you an example, and probably the reason why Bill has given me credit for being a diamond silver is because I do have 3 ambassadors on my second leg. So technically, I would be silver, but the one turned himself inactive, and so I'm still considered a senior ambassador on that second leg. So I'm only being paid 10 pay points on that leg right now versus the 15 had he been. So yeah, I would